Alright, the Rapture. Over. That's what my patch says on my hat today. I change patches out every few days, generally. Anyway, what you hear is a radio. That's the no weather. So, got a viewer who's going to be getting one of the 3 radios that I talked about a while back. So I thought I'd talk about that radio. I used to sell this radio, actually. I like it. I like it because it's got a lot of features, and it's pretty fun to use. It gets good reception. It's got an analog dial, not digital like these two. Although I love both of those radios too. But has an analog dial. Gives me a very nostalgic feel, you know. So, oh yeah, what am I wearing today? I'm wearing my Art Bell Coast to Coast t-shirt. So there's Art Bell. He's got a skull and bones on his t-shirt. You know, he was the man on late night talk radio for a long time. He's the person who started Coast to Coast AM. Then he had Dreamland and Midnight in the Desert also, but he tried to retire a couple of times, but he's so good at talk radio that he kept just coming back. And he was also a ham radio guy. Yeah, so a lot of people love to listen to Art Bell. He was a good guy. He's a Christian. You know, he just liked to delve into alternative subjects. You know, UFOs, exorcism. I mean, you name it. You know, if it was wild, he was talking about it. You know, a lot of subjects that a lot of other people would not touch. You know, he would delve into it. He had all kinds of people on his program, from, you know, ex-Vatican priests to, you know, your average person. Anyway, he's gone. He left us in 2018. Yeah. One of his favorite subjects also was Roswell. He used to like to discuss Roswell and the little intricacies around that. So, a lot of things. Anyway, so what have I got here? Got the Kaito KA500 Voyager radio. Heat index 92. Yeah, it's pretty cool, or pretty warm right now. It's not cool at all. So I'm going to turn this radio off. This weather. So, you know, this radio is a very good radio. It's got an analog dial. It's got AM, FM, shortwave 1, shortwave 2. Shortwave 1 and shortwave 2 just is separating the frequencies between lower frequencies and higher frequencies on shortwave. And anyway, so this is the weather band dial, no weather. So what you do is, right now it's on number 5. You just turn it until it tunes into your, you know, your local weather. Now this is pretty broad for my area. You know, basically it's Massachusetts and Connecticut and New York. It's like, you know, tri-state. I've never heard the channel for out of Providence. I think it might be out of Providence, Rhode Island. I don't think I've ever heard the weather for Rhode Island down here. I'd have to go closer to Rhode Island, but yeah. So, you know, right now I'm going to talk about this radio a little bit because one of the viewers is going to be getting one, and it's good radio. I've had this one for a long time. I've had this radio for, well, a long time, like 2011, 2010, 2012, somewhere between 2010 and 2012. I'm thinking it was 2011, 2012, 2011 or 2012 I got this radio. So I've had it a long time. I carried this radio with me a good bit during Hurricane Sandy. I carried this radio with me all the time during Hurricane Sandy. It was a good little companion. It has a lot of features. This is one of the reasons why I recommended this radio to be carried when the business was up and running. I recommended this radio as the radio, because it's very feature packed, and not really expensive. I mean, back in the day, I think it was like $70, $80, something like that. Not real expensive. I mean, that radio there, that C.Crane right now is like $180, $190. And I got this Grundig G5 many years ago, before I even had this one. This one was expensive. I don't remember how expensive, but I remember it was expensive. Grundig G5, and this one has features that neither one of those have. But of course, the C.Crane has the most, as far as like frequencies go. You pick up practically anything on C.Crane. It's got shortwave 1, shortwave, not short. It's got shortwave, and then it's got single sideband 1, single sideband 2. So it's single sideband 2 radio. It's got weather. It's got skywave. So it's got it'll pick up aircraft and whatnot and all that stuff. But anyway, this video is not about that. There's a lot of videos on this radio and this radio. These are both good radios. It's just that when I decided on this particular radio for the family business at the time, I wanted something that, number one, was good. It would be dependable. It would have a lot of features. Easy to use, versatile. Versatile is very important in an emergency situation. This particular radio will operate on AA batteries. It will operate, right now it's on charge mode, so it's charging. So it'll operate on electricity. So it will hand crank. Okay, so if you crank this, continuously for a minute or two, you will get radio. Okay, and I used this often back during Hurricane Sandy. I mean, it was something that I used all the time because I didn't have to think about charging batteries or nothing, because this has a solar panel in it as well. So if you got a good bright day, you can receive information, right? You see, so it's got the solar panel, and then it has, we're going to talk about this for just a second with the excuse me. You got solar panel, you got the charging crank, you have, it's always good to have rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries in your radio. So it takes 3, okay, rather than 2 or 4. So it's kind of unusual, but it takes 3. It also has a rechargeable battery pack. Okay. Now I bought extras for this radio back when in 2020, 2021, when all the nonsense was happening. Okay, I bought some extra battery packs. I think I bought 2 extra battery packs. There's one in here now, an extra. This is an old original that I had used the crap out of. But I'm gonna try to revive this one, see if it still works or not. I just put this one in here temporarily. This is one that I hadn't used, but I'm gonna try, putting this on charge, see if it, comes on back up. It might, but anyway, I got 3 AA nickel metal hydride rechargeables in here, which is what I recommend, that you get and you put in your radio. So anyway, so you got 3 AA's, you got the battery pack. What that does is that charges battery power from the solar or the crank. I'm pretty sure that's how that's tied into that circuit. So anyway, there's your door. Like I showed you, you have a little reading, all right, map reading light here. So if you need to read a map, you can read a map by that. Okay. All right. So that's a good feature. You don't have to be reading a topo map or whatever. You could be reading a map. Maybe you're hiking. Maybe it's pretty bad. Maybe you had to put on a rucksack and you had to go to a bug out location. If you have that type of a setup in your system, I'm not going anywhere. I'm bugging in, so to speak. So I don't plan on leaving here. Last man standing type of thing. I'll stand on that hill. So anyway, what else we got? Here's your regular old FM antenna. Okay. So as well, what we can do, I'll just use this one as an example. Okay. This is a C.Crane extendable antenna, and I make alligator clip antenna wires. I got one in my truck right now, so if I'm in the truck, I got an antenna that's run around the inside of the truck, and then when I need to, I just clip onto my radio. If I want to look shortwave or whatever. But anyways, this sort of setup, you just clip that on there and put it at the base. You don't need this because you're operating at a different frequency, right? So anyway, that type of thing is will really help your reception, right? So right now this is pulled out about 25 feet, 20 feet, something like that. It's over there a bit. So I'm going to take this off, but that's how that goes on there. Just use your alligator clip, right? If you make one, just go to the parts section of the auto parts in your big box store, get a roll of wire, 16 gauge, strip off an end, and put you an alligator clip on there. Now, the way an alligator clip will work best with an antenna like this is to go ahead and just open the jaws of the alligator clip and just eat the end of this antenna. Just put it on there as far as you can go and let it go, and it will adjust where it needs to be, and then just push it down and you got your extendable antenna there, right? Now, um, so we're talking about little features. Okay, so you can see I got light, the map light here, and then I should have a red flashing light there, and then I got a full-on light there. Okay, so these are emergency lights. Those are things that you don't need to be using all the time. You know, they're LED though, so they should last a long time. I've got a surge suppressor that's on my electronics in my living room that I've had for about 30 years. LED indicators to indicate that it's in operational mode. Same ones, you know. So LEDs, that's the nice thing about LEDs, is they last practically forever because it's just a solid state, you know, thing. Yeah, so like I said, there is the solar panel. Don't expect to charge all your batteries on the solar panel because this is just for basic use. You know, just to get it on, try to tune into something. You know, it's not a high power solar panel or nothing like that. So don't over expect. You know, do not over expect something like that to be like a 100-watt solar station or something. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, got your speaker there. This particular radio is in camo because, you know, back in the day, I thought it might kind of go well with the company, being preparedness and stuff, and survival. But got LED indicator lights here. The one on the right here shows that it's charging right now. Or, you know, if you're tuning, it'll flash in and out, you know, or I should say fade in and out with your tuning as you're tuning the analog dial, right? Then what have I got here? Oh, I got a battery light, high, low on your battery, and then down here you got the different stations, the frequencies that it tunes into them automatically for you. You don't even have to know the frequency. You just got 1 through 7, and you just turn that on the dial until you get the weather. That'll be the channel. Then down here you got weather is your first selection. Then you got FM, AM, shortwave 1, and shortwave 2. Now if I'm not using the radio, I just put it on weather, and I will generally put this on no alert, no weather alert, because that tells me immediately if there's going to be a storm rolling in. Okay, if there's a storm rolling in, it'll tell you. It'll be just like, you know. Let's see. Then we got a solar and crank, right? So if you want to power from solar or the crank, right, where you crank this up and then you get radio, that's the selection. Okay. Then the next one is battery or DC mode, right? All the way to the left, that's off. So if you want to turn your radio, just turn your radio off, and you turn it all the way off. And you won't get no weather alerts with it off. You have to put it on no alert, NOAA alert, right? So this is the solar crank K500 is the model. Solar Crank K500 is the model of this radio. Like I said, I used to sell these radios. I had boxes of these things at one time, and it's a good radio. It comes with plastic tri-glide adjusters on each side, but I took those off and threw them away. And then I just took Coates upholstery thread, you know, the old standby, right? It's real strong thread, Coates upholstery thread. You can buy it at the big box store in the arts and crafts department. Yeah, so I just put the bitter end through there and sewed the crap out of it, and then over here the same thing. Put the bitter end through and folded over and sewed the crap out of it, and now it's just on there, you know, permanently. No fiddling around with any buckles or nothing. Overall, I would say this is really one of the most fully featured radios that you can get for emergencies on the market. That's not even everything. So, I mean, let's talk a little bit about this area right here. So right now I've got it plugged in. Right, these come with a transformer, you know, for power, and then there's a USB port there. Then there's a switch above it. It says in and out. To the left, switch it to the left is into the radio. Switch it to the right and it's out from the radio. Power out. So it actually has a power out function. So if you want to use this radio to help you charge something else up, you can do that. It has a power out position, which you don't see. You don't see. That's the first and last time I'd ever seen it. Power out. And then of course there's headphones. So if you want to be a little bit more, you know, low key, you could put a single headphone piece into your earpiece into your ear, or just put on some earbuds or whatever you want. And that's the jack right there. All right. But overall, I would say that this is a great little radio. Kaito Solar Crank KA500. This one's in camo. Pretty sure you could just get one in olive green if you wanted, with black trim. But yeah, never had any issues with it. It's always been dependable. And when you're looking for something for when the crap hits the fan, you want something that you can rely on that's dependable. You know, that's what I was looking at back in the day. Bushcrafted survival. Survival doesn't always mean gathering mushrooms and mustard garlic and berries and what. That's not all there is to survival. There's also urban survival, you know, and there's also bad weather survival and everything. You know, there's survival encompasses everything. You know, to be ready for anything and everything. That's what a survivalist is preparing for. Any eventuality, you know. And that's not to say that these radios ain't good. These radios are awesome. I wouldn't own them if they weren't awesome. I'm not an end-all, be-all, go-to for information on everything, but you know, I think that all of these three radios are good. I'm just going over the Kaito KA500 basically this morning because one of my viewers is getting one, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about it, you know. But the other radios I have are the C.Crane, you know, Skywave 2, single sideband 2, is what they call it. Yeah. Great little radio. Tiny package. Big bang for the buck. Although it's not cheap. I can't say it's not cheap as far as inexpensive goes. But, you know, it's a great little radio. Plus, it's been a lot of years since I sold those, you know, Kaito radios. They could be $100 as far as as far as I know, right? But you know, the biggest upgrade you could do to a small portable radio like this is have a wire, you know, with an alligator clip on it to clip to the base of the antenna, you know, and that will help you with your reception. This here, again, Grundig G5. They don't make this anymore. A brand called Eaton, I don't know. Now they're Eaton Grundig. So somebody took them over after a lot of years. I think Grundig's been around since, you know, 30s or 40s, something like that. Well, that'll do it for this one. I got a lot of things to do. Today is the 250th anniversary of the United States. I know a lot of people will be popping firecrackers and whatnot, but we ain't as free as we were. We need to fight for it. We got to stand up and do stuff. It's the way it is. Freedom ain't free. To keep it, sometimes you got to stand up and do what's necessary. That's right. So don't forget that. You know, I always suggest that everybody have a Minuteman kit set up. Be ready to go at a moment's notice. Because never can tell when we might have to stand up on the home front. Have a great 4th of July. See you later.